Welcome to day 4. Today's mantra is forgiveness. Again, this is Natalie Pace, and this is our December 2023 Prosperity and Abundance 21 Days to a Healthier, Wealthier, More Beautiful You. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is the gift that we give ourselves. I love this quote that I heard from Carrie Fisher. And she said, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. When we resent others or we have, a grudge against them, that's a weight that we carry. Sometimes they don't even care. So they're not carrying, they may not even be carrying that weight. We are, right? And so when I think about forgiveness, I think about it as a gift we give ourselves. Now, you might say, well, that person really harmed me. And I'm not sure I'm even capable of forgiving them for what they did to me that I didn't deserve. And you may be right. There are people that harm children. There are people that harm their spouse. There are people sometimes intentionally, sometimes it happens without them intending to harm you, right? But either way, if you really feel like you're harmed, whether it's physically, emotionally, financially, it can be very hard to forgive. So we have to lean into some of the other things to help us along the way. We have to lean into love. We have to lean, which includes self-love. We have to lean into breathing. We have to lean into gratitude. And then how do we forgive this person that's harmed us, right? Now, I know this personally, and I'm not the only one. I mean, there are a lot of us that have been harmed as a child. And I remember, and therapy helped me tremendously to get over it and to get on with that. And the first thing is that sometimes you even blame yourself, like, what role did I play in this predator harming me as a 5-year-old child, or this person doing this? Even, maybe your spouse harmed you financially, and you had no idea about the gambling that was going on or something else, right? So you can be harmed in something and then think, well, maybe I should have noticed, or maybe I should have done something. You know, it's important for us to understand that sometimes the person harming us is doing it intentionally. Sometimes we had no role at all to play in that, right? So, how do you forgive somebody for that? Especially if it's a family member or your sacred beloved, right? How do you get beyond it? So, you may need to protect yourself. So forgiveness is not being putting yourself out there to be a victim again, right? It's not at all. In fact, forgiveness comes not from an area of weakness. It comes from an area of strength. And that begins with setting boundaries for yourself so that that person can't harm you in that way again, right? So that's, to me, that is part of the forgiveness, is to understand that as an adult, this is key, as a child, people can take advantage of you in ways because you're smaller and innocent and all those things. As an adult, you have the tools to get strong enough and to set the boundaries so that you cannot be hurt by that person again. And that's going to be part of it. And if you do that for yourself, as you do that for yourself, then it is easier to release this burden you're carrying for being mad at them for doing something to you, right? My therapist said, as an adult, as a child, people can do things to you without your permission. As an adult, no one can do something to you if you are going to stand up for yourself. So I believe very strongly that protecting yourself so that you're not in a position of being hurt by that same person again is a big part of the forgiveness. So the first thing is going to be, like gratitude. Forgiveness is not something that bang zip magically I forgive. today's mantra is forgiveness. So I'm going to be a forgiving person because your heart is still carrying. If you haven't protected yourself from that person, then you still actually are carrying fear that they're going to harm you again, right? In some way, shape, or form. So you have got to set it up so that whether it's a personal boundary, whether it's talking to them, whether it's removing yourself from, there were times with certain family members where I would only have a meal with them. I didn't say that, hey, I'm only going to have a meal with you. I'm not comfortable being close to you. I didn't say it like that. I just said, hey, let's all go out for a great meal, and I would make it a point to show up for family members and show love and do those things that I knew were going to get me to the place where I could release the burden of it. But there was another little trick that I use as well. Okay, so the first thing is figure out how you can feel safe and what that entails so that this person isn't capable of harming you. So you're not giving them any permission to do that, right? And then another step that you can take, and this really is weird, but it kind of works. So there was a person in my life had definitely done harm to me, and I took steps to make sure that that wasn't going to keep happening. And then what I did is I began sending this person gifts anonymously that were worth about $21. I knew this person really liked chocolate, so I would buy dark chocolate. Now, you probably knew who it was coming from, but I still did it, right? And it was important for me to do that. So that's my challenge to you today is that yes, today's mantra is forgiveness. No, it's not going to happen in an instant. But if it's on your mind, then you can start taking the steps for releasing this burden that you are carrying, which does include making sure that you can't be harmed by that person again. All right, so keep the other mantras in the mix: love and breathing and gratitude. And today, think about the steps that you can take. And you may start with writing down a list of people that you're carrying around a grudge against, get you resent. Maybe start there by acknowledging what is true and what is real for you. And then next to them, think about the way that you can protect yourself so that they can no longer harm you. And also think about a way that you can send them something anonymously worth only $21. It's interesting how that works. All right, I will see you tomorrow for day 5.